Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite or Might. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Taz here. And today on Dynamite or Might, we're going to have a good show here today on Dynamite or Might, Mike Lane says. Yes, we are, Tony Schiavone says. We are going to have a good show here today on Dynamite or Might. And I think we're going to prolong the bind, between Godzilla or Godzilla, whatever you want to call him. I'll tell you one thing right now, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Drew McIntyre is not the man. He is not the Evenlander He's not the Evenlander Highlander to fuck with, Taz says. And even though the Highlands still did not get their two-diff freedom from the 4-1 kingdom yet, he still behaves as if he's still fighting for freedom. But at the end of the day, he's not really fighting for anyone, only himself, only his selfish needs. Taz says, kind of like what I did when I was in IWCW. When I was in WCW and ECW, both the E's, and WWF and WWE and TNAW and GSW and IW and also in AEW too, Taz says. So Drew McIntyre goes, everyone out there thinks I should be ashamed, or I should feel I'm sorry, for starting something with Godzilla or Godzilla. That hell with bloody deadweight doesn't know if he's a deadweight or is he some kind of fire-breathing lindworm. I like to go on the belief he's both. But who really cares? See, everyone likes to talk about how, he's made more films than anyone else. He's been in more films than any other made-up self, He's made more films than anyone else. Yeah, put him in the bloody book of Guinness World Reckonings and get the fuck out of my lair. I don't care if he's made sundry films through Toho and Sony and Warner Brothers. I don't care. You see, his bloody tail came off that someone at Playmates didn't make right. Or some business over in the Folkreich of Eastland, which we all know Eastland isn't no Folkreich, it's a speakership. But I don't care. Godzilla or Godzilla, you call yourself the bloody king of the fiends, or the bloody Kaiser of the fiends. The truth is, that was just the name that they came up with for your first film, when Toho wanted to get it outside of Dawnland and see how it would go in the 4-1 rights in the settled land. I'm not frightened of you at all. You say you're undying. You say you can't be slain or killed or slaughtered. Well, I'm here to tell you that if I would slay you, no one would see it as a sinful, unlawful deed, since you're not a man-like, woman-like being anyway. Oh, what's this talk, huh? So let me guess, Drew McIntyre, still the same old shit, right? Yeah, someone at Playmates fucked up my tail, and I had to use over sticky ooze and sticky film to keep my tail on. Good one for you. And then you're saying that if you would slay me, no one would see it as a sinful, unlawful deed? That no one would scathe you as being a sinner and an outlaw? Come on, Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I have made more films than anyone else through Toho, Sony, Warner Brothers. Yeah, but I don't go around talking about how I made more films than James Bond. I don't go around talking about how I made more films than Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. I don't go around talking about how, oh geez, I made more films than, what, King Kong and Gamera? Anyone else out there that has made a lot of films out there, has been in sundry films, and, oh, I don't know. But anyway, I don't go and talk about all of that shit, right? That's one thing I never did. You don't see me saying how, oh, I made more films than everyone else, ha ha ha. You don't see that. So let me tell you something. Oh yeah, I made more films than Rocky Balboa. But anyway, you don't see me saying all that shit, do you? And so you think that you can do what everyone else has been seeking to do since 9 between 53 YL was somehow, to kill me or to slay me. Well, if you have watched any of my films, the Toho, the Sony, the Warner Brother films, you would know that slaying and killing me is a very hard thing to do. Alright? And you think you're so more greater than me, Drew McIntyre. I don't even know why you even started something with me. Are you angry that somehow I've been in the TWF longer than you? 9 between 98 YL, 1 year before Xeno would show up? Well, let me tell you a little saga, Drew McIntyre. Let me tell you something. When I first came to the toy wrestling gathering, and keep in mind, I didn't come here in 9 between 98 YL. That was just really my 2-diff run. But anyway, let me show you something, Drew McIntyre. Yeah, they didn't buy the first doll of mine from the Vinlander Frith Middle in 9 between 98 YL sometime after my Sony film came out. And you want to know what? Yeah, I've been here for a long time. And yes, I've won a lot of winnings. But guess what, Drew McIntyre? You should know I am one of your heads. That I am the head inner working follower. The head booker. Yes. And I don't go around and say that. Oh, wow. So now I should know why you've been booking and riding me to make me look bad. You already made yourself look bad, Drew McIntyre. If you want to have a match with me here today on Dynamite or Mike, then by all means do so. But keep in mind, you're the one's going to get slain. Well, now we got a fight lord in the ring now, or a fight keeper in the ring. And he hasn't been standing up in the ring right since 2021 YL. This match is Drew McIntyre and Godzilla. Drew McIntyre wanted to come at Godzilla, Mike Lane says. He hit him with the tail and knocked him down. Drew McIntyre is down, Mike Lane says. Still don't understand why Drew McIntyre want to start something with Godzilla, or Godzilla, Tony Schiavone said. I don't know. I guess he thinks he needs to get himself over, Tony Schiavone said, by starting something with the King of the Fiends or the Kaiser of the Fiends. And him is till now out of the ring he goes, Mike Lane said. Let me tell you something right now. Mike and Tony. He can't stand upright. With someone at Playmates couldn't get his feet to stand upright. They couldn't get his tail to go in right, Taz says. And now I think Drew McIntyre wonders why everybody would scave him, or guilt him, or shame him for something. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm back in. He's back in now. Oh, he just Claymore kicked it down. Godzilla or Godzilla, whatever you want to call him, Mike Lane says. Yeah, he did. And now he just gave him the future shot. He just gave him the future shot. The upcoming shot, DDT, whatever the DDT stand for. And now Drew McIntyre is going to get a win over Godzilla or Godzilla, the King of the Fiends, the Kaiser of the Fiends. Taz said, "Be so great. Put him in the book of Guinness World Reckonings." Taz said, "Oh, Godzilla has lost some matches, mostly to Mothra and King Kong." Taz says. Mike Lane says, "That's right." Tony Schiavone says, and here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding. Here is your winner. Here is your winner, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has beat Godzilla, which that is his Danish name. Godzilla mostly being a take off of the English word God, and Zilla mostly being taken off of, I don't know, being taken off of either off of the French's borrowed word or the Hellenish borrowed word crocodile, which is a French's borrowed word, but crocodile is a Hellenish borrowed word, and alligator is mostly a French's borrowed word. But whatever the English word is for those two beings, that's where his English name kind of gets pulled from. Mike Lane says, and it seems that Drew McIntyre has beat the King of the Fiends, or the Kaiser of the Fiends, here today on Dynamite, or Mike Lane says. And at the end of the day, Tony Schiavone said it has not really changed his stand, or his mindset, or his behavior. You know, he still behaves as if the whole world has wronged him, and the whole world owes him now. You know, and he's not the only man or woman in the world to ever go through hardships and mishaps and unfairness of things. Tony Schiavone says, I can tell you one thing, Taz says, Drew McIntyre need be as a man who does like to look in a looking glass, and the man that he sees he does like. Need be at the end of the day, he truly has brainwashed his own self into believing that all the things that ever went wrong and his whole skilled wrestling calling, need be it be BBCW or WWE or TNAW or EPW or WWE, he somehow believed that everybody else's mistake and not his, Taz says. I'm just saying that's what he believes, Taz says. Alright, now we're going to take it away now. You know, Jim Ross, take it away. Thank you. Thank you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Godzilla or Godzilla, King of the Fiends or Kaiser of the Fiends. Alright, Godzilla, you have been one of my near friends for many years, and I like to think I have a lot of good friends, like Steve Austin, and you would be one of them. Well, Jim Ross, first I want to say thank you for that. And to Jim Ross, I do want to say that Drew McIntyre is nothing more than a heel. But then a heel is just wrestling talk for being an evildoer, or a bad doer, or a wrongdoer. You see, Drew McIntyre goes way beyond being a heel, way beyond being a bully or a creep. Yeah. Is life fair? No, life is not fair. Not for anyone. No need who you are, life is not fair. And you do go through a lot of, unfairness and bullshit and hardships and whatever. But you see, at the end of the day, Drew McIntyre started to believe that it was everyone else's mistake that he never won the WWE heavyweight winning for the 3rd time, or won the World Heavyweight winning for the first time. He's believing everyone that the grounds to why he never beat all those wrestlers he could have beat, won all those matches or fights he could have won, is he guilts it on everyone else. And I don't know why he chose to take it out on me, because I never did nothing to Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway, or whatever you want to call himself. And some folks think that he's going to leave WWE and go to AEW at the end of this month, or next month, or whatever. Well, if he does, great for him. But then he's going to start all over again, like he did when he left WWE the first time, and he was in TNAW and EPW before coming back to W for a 2-diff time. So he's going to start all over again in AEW. And I don't really think that they're just going to give him the AEW heavyweight winning and say, here, you don't got to wrestle Samoa Joe. You don't have to fight everyone to get up here. Here it is. We're so sorry that no one in WWE wanted to get to you for the third time, or the 2-diff time, or the first time, or whatever. So, if Drew McIntyre started something with me, I'm going to end it. And that's the bottom row, because God Jorah said so. Alright, thank you, God Jorah, King of the Fiends. Well, thank you, God Jorah, King of the Fiends. Back to you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with Godzilla, or God Jorah, here today on Dynamite, or Mike. And that's all the time we got here. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. We hope you like Dynamite, or Mike. And we'll see you tomorrow for Impact, or Hit.